Well, hello everyone, this is Robert from my hobby channel Black Belt Gaming. Welcome to Gears of War, the board game. In Gears of War, the board game, each player controls a Cog soldier fighting to save humanity from the locust horde. At the start of the game, players collectively choose a mission to undertake, and each mission includes different objectives that players must fulfill in order to win the game. Gears of War, the board game, is a cooperative game, meaning that all players win or lose the game together. Only by working as a team can players overcome the locust horde, which is controlled by a deck of artificial intelligence cards, and win the game. This video series will focus on two main points. Number one, I hope that it will be a good introduction for new players to get a handle on some of the rules of the game. And number two, I hope that all board gamers, especially Gears of War board gamers, will enjoy seeing a detailed playthrough of the very first mission, called Emergence. In honor of the video games, I'm going to be playing through this first mission with Marcus and Dom. Joining me on this journey will be George. For many of you, George needs no introduction. But for those of you that are new to the Gears of War board game, or new to my channel especially, you have no idea who George is. Well, on my channel, Black Belt Gaming on YouTube, if you look over there for my playlist on the Gears of War board game, you'll see currently up are Missions 2 and 3, China Shop and Belly of the Beast. If you check those out from beginning to end, you'll definitely find out who George is and get to know a lot about him. We've decided to team up here. George is very passionate about keeping things fair. He doesn't want me, since this is a cooperative board game, and I'll be making all the decisions and placements. He doesn't want me to cheat, so he's here to keep me honest and keep the game interesting. So this is George. I'm sure you'll get to know him more and more as we play through this first mission, Emergence, together. The rules of play. Well, for those of you that know my channel, I don't spend a lot of time making instructional or tutorial videos. I tend to jump right in and start playing. And that's what I'm going to do here with Gears of War. Instead of making an hour-long video teaching you the rules in the rulebook along with some examples, why don't we just start playing, and I'll use the gameplay as the example, and we'll learn as we go along. So let's get started. Well, right here in the rulebook, towards the very front, is the game setup. Before playing the game, you must perform the following steps in order. Well, you need to start choosing your character cards. So, we have chosen Marcus and Dom. And we take a look on here, and we're getting ready to go into step number 2, receive starting weapons, grenades, and ammo. We see that right here. Here are the weapons, grenades, and ammunition. Let's do that. Well, here's Marcus Phoenix and his character card. The first weapon on the list is the Lancer, and it's got 3 bullets. Well, here is the Lancer weapon card. You want to get the cards here that have 2 sides. There are some weapon cards that only have 1 side, and those are used differently. So here, a double-sided Lancer assault rifle. It's the same information on both sides. And as we saw, Marcus gets 3 ammo tokens. These are your ammo tokens. You just simply put those on your card. Well, next, Marcus gets the snub pistol. And looking at his card, he gets 1 ammo token for his pistol. And finally, we have a bolo grenade. This uses a grenade token instead of an ammo token. And Marcus gets 1 of these. So we'll put that there. So with Marcus Phoenix set, what about Dom? Dominic here, he gets a different weapon. In fact, I think out of the 4 Cog Figures, he's the only one that gets the shotgun. Let's get the shotgun and 2 ammo tokens. Here is the shotgun. Once again, this is a double-sided card, and we need to put 2 ammo tokens on it for Dom. Dom gets the same pistol. However, we see that for the snub pistol, he also gets 2 ammo tokens for it. So we'll put those there. Bolo grenade. Dom is going to get 1 of those. Well, now we're up to step 3. Set up the order and weapon decks. Well, your order cards look like this. I'm going to pull back a little bit here. You need to shuffle these cards well. These are your order cards. They're going to help you carry out your actions. Then you need to fix your weapon deck. These are the weapons that only have one side. For example, if I find the shotgun, you'll see here on the back it's not double-sided like that. On the back there's a lancer. All of these look the same. You need to shuffle this because these weapons will be drawn at random at different points. Well, here is your mission reference card. And I believe there's no difference between the 2 sides. You put this down, and you see these sides over here on the right. After you've shuffled your order cards, you just simply put them with the matching symbol right there. You're going to be drawing from that deck. You've shuffled your weapon cards. You're going to put that with the Lancer icon up there. You're going to be drawing from that deck every now and then. And we'll move on. Well, your next step, step 4, is to choose a mission. And it's recommended for your first game to play through Emergence. Well, Emergence has these cards. This first one is the setup. It's going to go on top. Next, we see a number 1. That's going to go under the setup. And then we see a number 2. That's going to go under number 1, just like that. So you're going to go through your setup and then flip over to the next one. On the back is additional information. It usually says after certain things have happened, you'll flip this over and find out what to do next. So that's how we initially set up the mission deck. You remember your reference card here, or reference sheet. You take your mission deck. There's a space labeled for it right there at the top. And that's where you put your mission deck. Well, we're now up to step 5, which is set up the locust cards and figures. Let's go. Number 1. Find the enemy cards listed on the mission setup card and place them on the appropriate spaces to the left of the mission reference sheet, A, B, or C. Let's do that. Well, we're taking a look at our mission setup card, and we're targeting this area with the enemies. Enemy A is a wretch. Enemy B is a drone, and enemy C is a boomer. So we take out this wretch card, followed by this drone, and then lastly is the boomer. Those are the 3 we're going to use. So over here on the left side of our reference sheet, we see A, B, and C. Well, that's just where we put these cards. These cards look like this. It has the name, a little bit about their abilities and statistics there. We're going to put him in the A slot. We'll take the drone and put him in the B slot. And the boomer will go in the C slot, just like that. Well, now we're down to this step 2. It says place all matching locust figures. Remember, locust are the bad guys. They're the gray figures. And wound markers face up to the left of the matching enemy card. Well, here we are. We have all the figures necessary for each one of these types. We have 3 boomers, 6 drones, and 6 wretches. Here are their wound markers. A brief word about these. When you fail to kill an enemy, you take one of these wound markers and put it under that figure's base, like this. And this now becomes their maximum health. We'll talk more a little bit about that later, because that is a little tricky in Gears of War. Many people who don't have access to the rule book or don't take the time to read it carefully get really confused about how wound markers work. We're going to cover that in this mission very clearly. That's coming up soon. Well, we're now moving into this step 3 of part number 5, which is create the AI deck. We need to shuffle the locust AI cards for each type of enemy included in the mission. There are also some general AI cards listed on the mission setup card, and you place all of these together and shuffle them, and this is your AI deck. So let's do that. So playing Emergence, our enemies are Wretch, Drone, and Boomer. You're going to go through these cards. They're called the AI cards, and they have this little symbol on them here and on the back like this. And you're going to pull all of the ones that say Wretch, and you'll find about 4 in there. You're going to do the same for the drones. That's the enemy B. Same thing with this symbol on the back. You're going to draw these 4 drone AI cards. And then finally you've got the Boomer, and you do the same for the Boomer. You've got 4 for him as well. So those are our creature, enemy AI cards. But let's not forget we also had some general AI cards, and they're listed right here. Those little numbers, what do they mean? Well, here are the general cards, and you need to find the number down there on the bottom. And for this mission, we need general card number 1, which is right here. And you need number 2, and we've got that. We need number 3, we've got that. We need number 4, got that. 5, yes, and 6. So these are the ones that we're going to use. Any other ones numbered higher than this, like 7 and above, you're not going to use. But you're going to put these cards, these general AI cards, along with your locust enemy cards, and you're going to shuffle all of these together and create an AI deck. Well, once you've shuffled all of those together, you put your AI deck right there. Well, we're now moving into step 6, set up the location cards. You have to create a deck of location cards as specified on the back of the mission setup card. So here's my mission setup. We've done that, so let's flip this over. And we have level 1 locations. These numbers, 2A, 9A, 12A, 16A. Let's see what we do with that. Well, these little guys are your location cards, and you need to pull the ones that are matching the numbers on your mission card. 2A, 9A, 12A, 16A. We've got that here, 2A, 9A, 12A, 16A, all represented right there. You can see here each tile that's going to be used with this card. So you need to do a tile search, and you kind of have to be careful with this to find the right tiles. You not only get to look at the picture, but the numbers are on the tiles as well. So it's not that hard. You'll find it right there. So this is 9A, we had 12A, we'll find it right there. Here's 2A, and then we have a bigger one here, 16A. Those are the different tiles that we're going to be using for the game. Well, now we're on to part 7. It says set up the first level of the map. You do this in the following order. You draw 1 card from the level 1 location deck. Here's my location deck. What card did we draw? The first card we have drawn is 16A. Well, it says next that I need to find the map tile matching this card and place it on the table. If other map tiles are already in play, place it so that the entrance matches the map exit. Well, let's take a look at this tile. 16A was the first card I drew. It's the biggest tile. If you see this arrow here, this is the entrance. And over here, this doorway, that's the exit. So we're going to place this tile first. Well, we just put our tile down on the table, and we keep this card nearby for reference. It's going to tell us what the equipment area will do and what enemies are going to spawn there. So already you're familiar with A, B, and C. I'm playing with 2 players. You're going to see that there's going to be a B, a drone, around here somewhere. Maybe more than one. Well, we found our matching tile, and it's on the table, and it says spawn locust figures as listed at the bottom of the location card at each emergence hole on the map tile based on the number of players. Well, here's our map tile. It's our first one, 16A. We take a look at the location card. We have 2 players, Dom and Marcus. So we're looking for the drones. They're enemy number B, or letter B. Emergence holes. These are emergence holes. So these, in these areas, this is where the drones are going to go. So only 2 to begin with. So I have my 2 drones here. Let's take a look at their card and learn a little something. Right there, you see that symbol? That's a cover symbol. That means that this enemy, if there is a cover space available, he's going to take it. He's going to move into cover first thing. So as we place this tile down, and we're going to place our drone in the emergence hole area, he's going to be in cover right there. Cover boosts your defense by either 1 or 2 defense dice, and we'll talk about that very soon. The other area is over here, but we have no cover. There's no cover space, so he just goes on that space anywhere. So we'll put him right there. That's how you set up your first tile. Well, it says if there are any more cards in the location deck, you need to repeat these steps. And if it was the last location, then you need to put a door token on the exit. Well, let's see what our next area is. It is 2A. And we're going to be spawning, let's see, we got 1 emergence hole on it. We're going to be spawning a boomer. So here was the exit for this tile. The next card we drew was 2A, and we take a look at it. There's the exit there. So we need to get this entrance here and line it up just like that, so that the entrance is matching with the exit from the previous tile. So that's our next tile. And then we've got, for a 2-player game, we've got a boomer coming in. Well, here's my emergence hole, and there's only 1, and here's my boomer. Does he go into cover? Well, let's take a look at his card. No, there's no cover icon there. There's some other stuff which we'll talk about, but no cover icon. So no, maybe he is too big. He's a big monster. He's tough. He doesn't need to get into cover. So he's going to be out in the open, anywhere on the space, but not in the cover spot. Drawing our 3rd location card, 12A. And for our 2-player game, we're also going to put a boomer there. And we have 1 emergence hole. So 1 boomer coming on tile 12A. Here we go. 12A, exit, entrance. Let's match it up here with the exit from the previous tile. And let's grab our boomer. And let's double check. It was a boomer. Yes, for 2 players, C. C is boomer. No cover. Just going to stand on that space. Well, no real surprise here. Our last one is 9A. So we take tile 9A. And this one's shaped a little differently, kind of snakes around here. But this is the entrance. So we're going to match that up with the exit. But instead of being sort of straight across like the other ones, it's going to go up this way. So that's going to be, this is our last location card, that's going to be the exit for this game map. So what we need to do is now take one of our doors and put it over that final exit. So this is one of the door pieces with the little stand on the bottom. Just put that over there, and that's the exit for this map. We have one emergence hole for tile 9A. 2-player game, it's a B. We've got a drone coming in. Remember that these drones take cover, so he comes up out of the emergence hole and pops into cover right there. These locust enemies, if you're not familiar with the Gears of War universe, they live deep underground, and they are emerging from these different holes to crawl up into the world of the humans and attack the ones that are on the surface. So that's why these holes are crucial for them. That's how they get where they need to go and make their attacks on the world above. Yes, George. You've already got something to say? Well, yeah. There are no wretches on the game board at this time. No, we're not discriminating. No, no, no. We are playing it exactly by the rules, very carefully. What's that? You demand a recount. Alright, well, we'll just double check to make sure, but I'm telling you, we're playing this exactly by the book. And the fact that there are none of you guys on the board at this time is right. But I'll double check it if that will please you. Alright? Alright, let's do it. Alright, George. Wretches were type A, correct? We'll come around here so you can see. 2 players. Our first tile is a B. But, yeah, just a second. I'll get to the next one in a moment. Let's take a look at this. We have a question mark and some text here. What does that mean? Well, that is an equipment area. That means when a cog figure moves into that space where the question mark is, it's right over there on that tile, they can activate it by discarding a command card, which is one of these, and then they can activate that equipment area. And it looks like this cog can get some ammunition. So we're going to keep this card on the table and put it next to that tile so that we can use that at the appropriate time. Once that ammo is collected, we throw that card into the discard pile. Alright, George, here we go. The next tile we drew was the card we drew was 2A. C, that's Boomer. See? No A's. Equipment, yes we do. We have some equipment here. We discard and we can draw 2 random weapon cards and keep 1 with ammunition. So that's when we'll be drawing those random weapon cards. So we'll keep this card on the table next to that tile so that we can use that later. Alright, George, next one was 12A. What's that? What do you mean you don't know your ABCs? That's a C. That's for Boomer. Well, we've got, actually this is probably an important one for this mission. We've got grenades there. And I believe there is something special about grenades and this tile for this mission. Let's see if we can find it. If we take a look in the rule booklet towards the back, we'll find the Emergence Mission and any special notes about it. It's a smaller map, and it says it's sending the Cog players into the heart of danger to close an emergence hole in the middle of Cog territory. Remember, Cogs are the good guys. They have to work together to close this hole and keep the locust horde at bay, because they keep crawling out of it. Well, the couple of things we're going to do differently during this this setup it says locust figures are spawned before emergence holes are sealed. So we're actually going to be sealing some holes, and we'll do that in a moment. Grenades, here we go. It says that we can go back to 12A and we can keep getting grenades if we run out. So we don't toss that card to the discard pile even if we activate the equipment there. That's the usual rule. You activate the equipment, the card goes into the discard pile. But here you can keep activating it again and again. It says this location card is not discarded. It may be activated again on a future turn. And then let's see, we have spawning. That's for stage 2. We'll come back to that a little later. So we see here 12A's grenade stash. We're going to put that by its tile, and that one's going to stay no matter how many times we use it. But our last tile, George, this was our last card drawn. It also says B. There's no A there for 2 players. Got it? Alright. Well, there's no equipment on here, so we really don't need this card anymore. We can toss this one into the discard pile. We're still looking at our setup card, and it says, after setting up the map, cover each emergence hole with a sealed token. What is a sealed token? Well, that's a sealed token. It looks like an emergence hole that's been covered or caved in or sealed up. So that's what we're going to be covering the holes with. But except the one nearest the map exit. So we have to cover up all of these holes. Huh? Yes, I know you don't like that. I know that's how you guys get on the map, is through the hole. But there's one hole left. No, this is right by the book. You were right here watching the whole thing. Nobody's cheating. Let's get to covering the holes. I don't want to hear it. That's the rules. So this was our first tile here. We're going to cover those emergence holes. And they are now sealed. Nobody's crawling out of there. Sorry, George. Here were our next 2 tiles. And we need to cover those up as well. Scooting the boomers out of the way. Remember, they're not in cover. Even if you put them there, they're not really counted as in cover. They don't do that. And then here was our final hole. Nah, I'm just kidding, George. Just kidding. I'm not going to cover that one. That one stays open. That's the hole we have to close. If we close that up, we can win the mission. So let's put our drone on it and leave that hole open. Well, looking off in the distance here, you see my reference card on the table with the different decks and cards around it. You may be wondering what this and this are for. It says location cards 2 and 3. Those will come into play during longer missions. This is the introductory mission, so you don't need to worry about that. As you see, level 2 locations, none. Level 3 locations, none. So we don't need to worry about with mission, this first mission 1, Emergence. Well, we are now up to part 8. Place the cog figures on the map. You place them in the entrance area. It has the open map edge with an arrow. And it's on the first map tile placed. And starting with the first player, each player has the option of moving his figure into a cover space in this area. But only one figure can take that cover space. Well, here is Marcus. Some people have complained that these figures are hard to tell apart. Marcus is usually wearing this this kind of bandana or head wrap, if you can make that out. So this is Marcus. This is Dom. Kind of has the big jaw line there. It would have been very easy to tell this was Dom if they had made this a shotgun, but for some reason the model was given a lancer with a chainsaw. Anyway, this is Dom here. So we put them on our start tile with this arrow, and then one of these guys gets to choose to go into cover. Well, Marcus is in the lead. Dom's the support guy with the shotgun. Well, let's put Dom up there in cover, up close and personal to the drone standing right in front of him. Alright, so we've got our map set up here, all the way from beginning there to the exit tile there. We're ready to go. We're going to go into the last step now, which says draw order cards. Each player draws order cards equal to the maximum hand size, which is usually 6. Each player draws 6 order cards except for the player controlling Marcus Phoenix, who draws 1 additional card. And after we do that, we can begin playing the game. Here are the order cards. Let's get 7. 7 for Marcus and 6 for Dom. Well, there we have it. That is how you set up the Gears of War board game to play the first mission. From here on, I'm going to be filming my playthrough of the game from very beginning to the very end. We're going to see this all the way through. If you'll join me for that, you'll see the rules of the game as we play along. So we're going to be teaching you about how the weapons work, how the dice come into play, what the wound markers are for, how the AI cards work, what cover is all about, how line of sight works, all of those good things. So please join me for that as we play through Mission 1, Emergence.